What up, y'all? It's Papastrada here. Just want to do a quick audio check just to make sure. If you guys can hear me, let me know. Just want to make sure everything's good before we get started here. Guys, this is my first time streaming. I have pretty much no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me a bit. Just going to cover some basic stuff, discuss the market. Friday was eventful, so discussing that. Prep a little bit for the coming week. And yeah, hopefully answer any questions you guys have as well. But yeah, let's hop in here. Let's go ahead and get started. So, you know, debt ceiling news was massive, mega candles everywhere pretty much. We had some bearish divergence that got invalidated with that candle. May 22nd, we had slope basically again invalidated with that positive Momo building on Friday with that news. That was a really flip a coin, try to figure out which way that goes. I'd rather play it safe a little bit. I know a couple of guys in the chat had some risk on. Hopefully some people, made some money. But as you can see, as Champ always says, make or break area. This 432, 423 is pretty significant. We've had a few tests, basically going back all the way to July of 2021, October 2021, beginning of last year, several attempts. We actually rejected right off the 200-day as well on the 16th of August last year. So again, this 432 area is something to watch. This zone, again, a lot of resistance here. So this could be an area to keep an eye on. Again, with this news, it's a whole different situation. Hard to really dictate which way the market's going to go based on that. Again, we had, mega candles everywhere on Friday with that news. So very curious to see how Monday plays out. As you can see here, we didn't have too much volume on Monday. Seems like, most of the bears seem to capitulate. But again, this area here is really something to watch. I don't see the chat here on my screen. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work. I can't manage to get it. Give me one sec. All right, let me just pull this up on my phone so I can see you guys' chat and stuff. Sorry about that, guys. Again, this is my first time streaming like this, so I'm completely new to this. Hope that's not a problem. But yeah, that's pretty much SPY. What else did I have here? 432 looking to get tested relatively soon. Again, we had that classic bearish divergence get invalidated. One thing I also wanted to mention before I move on here, let's pull up that fib, those fib levels here. So high to low, check this out. So as you can see, this 432 area, which I've been, harping on the past few minutes, that 618 lines up with pretty much 429.80. So almost that 430 level. So right around this zone, which again could be another area of resistance. Hard to really tell. Again, with that news, it's something that doesn't happen every day. So hard to really dictate whether the market's gonna keep climbing as it has since the beginning of this year or what. But my assumption, NFA, not financial advice here, I would like to see a back test of this 423 area. Let's try to confirm that as support here before we move further. But yeah, let's move on now to what do I have here? Okay, IWM. So again, mega green candles on Friday with that debt ceiling news, right? Breaking, actually closing above the 200-day. So again, referring back to that back test that I'm looking to take advantage of come this week. If we can do something like just back test that 200-day, that'd be solid. Let's see. Let me pull up my marker here if I can find it. Where is this? Okay. Let's see if I can get this down. No idea where the marker's at. Again, sorry guys, this is my first time streaming, so apologies for the lack of smoothness on this, but okay, you guys get it. So anyway, looking at backtest this 200-day this week, hopefully, I'd be a lot more comfortable taking any positions with that backtest rather than just straight up, straight down. In this zone, pretty much nothing until 188.30, which is a couple of which has been support in the past, resistance a couple of times as well over the past couple of years. So this area, you're kind of in no man's land, pretty much right in the middle of this range, right at the 200-day. And, assuming we just continue to rip, 188 is on watch here. Besides that, like I said, nothing much in between besides the 200-day. And IWM actually had some decent volume come Friday as well. Oh, not as well, but compared to SPY, a lot more volume, relatively speaking here, and building some positive Momo. So let's keep an eye on that as well. Okay, so next on the list here, let's head over to the Dow Jones Index. So, first Momo since pretty much since late March. So, that's something to keep an eye on as well, that momentum with this debt ceiling news. Let's see how that plays out before, making any, big decisions come this week. I'd like to err on the side of, just being a little bit more strategic this week, being that Friday was such a odd day. Um, let's try to figure out, let's see how the markets are going to react coming into this new week here. And yeah, so I had this trend line here that was originating on the 5th of January back in 2022. As you can see, we closed above that. However, you did kind of react to this 33762 level, closing just above that, but pretty much in this zone as is SPY. Couple of supports in the past, couple of resistances in the past as well. So again, a make or break area. Hard to really get a picture of what traders are going to be looking for. I'm sorry, how traders are going to be reacting. But what we can do as strategic traders is be a little bit patient and let the chips fall where they may before making any big decisions, whether you're gonna thinking about going long, thinking about going short. Give it some time. This is again very unique situation. So as I recommend, give it some time, be patient before going putting any risk out there. um, so that's the Dow Jones. Again, putting some positive Momo there on the MACD for the first time in about a month now. So nothing too special here. I like to see a back test of this trend line, as I referred to on the past couple of charts we're looking at. A little bit of back test, break hook and go and just take off. That'd be ideal for bulls here. Yeah, so Dow Jones. Let's move on to, where's my IWM? Did we discuss this already? Not sure if we did. Did I cover IWM already, guys? I have no clue if I even code this right now. The guy, yeah, weekly bearish divergence still intact for sure, for sure. Obviously, that weekly isn't reflecting really Friday's news just yet. So let's try to get some more data and see where this is going to be headed. But all right, I'm not seeing anything in the chat just yet, so let's just move on here. Okay, let's take a look at the Qs. So Qs have obviously been outperforming for a while compared to SPY. I have it in this, up sloping wedge here. You're actually testing this upper range, which is pretty interesting. As far as resistance in this zone here, you got some stuff around 351, which you actually close above. So again, probably, would be nice to see back test of this 351 area and take off to your, next resistance, which would be that 369. This one, obviously looks a lot different than what the past few charts we looked at. QQQs have just been, outperforming the rest of the market. So as far as Qs go, like I said a few times already, looking for that back test come this week, and yeah, play from there. So yeah, that's the Qs. Let's go over Apple. Apple had a pretty crazy Friday. Pretty much a few bucks off of all-time highs here, which is insane to think about. On the daily, Apple also invalidated that bearish divergence. And again, like the Qs in this upsloping wedge here, you actually got a breakout of this depending on how you structure it. A little bit of a a doji there, but again, what I'd like to see is just some sort of backtest come this week. I just feel a lot more comfortable taking any positions once once we get some solid data with that backtest. But I could realistically see this continue going, but that's just my opinion. Again, I want some more data before I have any conclusions on which way I think the market's going to go. But yeah, this is crazy. Keep an eye out for 183. Interesting to see how traders are going to saddle up once we test that zone, whether we're going to get a bunch of bears, rolling in, or bulls are just going to, launch this thing up. So let's see. Again, just need more data right now after, a crazy end of the week. Okay, cool. Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla here. Pretty much a, descending broadening wedge, if you may. This upper trend line here, relatively close to being tested. A couple bucks off. Now, a couple of days ago, pretty much last week, you did what Tesla did here is pretty much what I'm looking for in SPY and a couple others, like we discussed. Breaking above that 200-day, back testing it, and just break hook and go right off that 200-day. Now, with that, you are approaching a resistance line here, which has been tested a couple times, and it's been holding. So again, with all this debt ceiling news, it's really hard to figure out what the hell is going on right now. So again, just be patient, and let's get some more data on the charts before making any rash decisions. But again, what I'm looking for would be a back test of a majority of these resistances that we broke above last week. So I like to see back test of the 209, and then break hook and go status. So Momo still building. Tesla, nothing crazy as far as volume goes, but that's pretty much all of Tesla. Let's see what else I got here for you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. So you're in this triangle here. Kind of underwhelming, to be quite honest, with the debt ceiling news. I kind of expected Bitcoin to kind of move with the market on that news, but looks pretty realistically. Not much to talk about here. Um, you just need more data on this. Kind of looks a bit weak, but again, let's just wait for more data before really making any decisions on that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had, guys. As far as the main charts I wanted to look at this week, just some basic, market prep. But yeah, I was really looking to maybe get some questions answered for you guys. If you guys had anything, feel free to throw something in the chat or some charts. I can, take a look at something for you guys. But as far as the recap goes, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any questions or any charts you guys want me to look at. So, all right, let's see. Sorry if I got your name wrong there. KHC. Yeah, let's take a look. What is that? Kraft Heinz. Nice. Trading View reset all my charts as it does periodically for whatever reason. So it's like I'm taking a look at these charts for the first time. So let's go ahead and take a look here. All right. Over here. This has been a tough area here. So obviously, you're within this range here, 41.39 and 32.80. Take a closer look at that 200-day here. So you technically close above the 200-day. Hopefully with this negative Momo waning, you get back above that 200-day. This is something that you would rather have more conviction on. You do have an M-shaped pattern here, so it'd be interesting to see if this would eventually lead into a harmonic. Let's just take a quick look. So something like that, this is not certainty whatsoever. I just, once you see those patterns, you really want to train the eyes to start noticing those M's and W's, basically what those harmonics are. So let's see, not too bad here. Okay. So you'd be looking at something like that just based off that shape, not saying that this is going to happen whatsoever. But again, this is what my eyes see once I'm looking at a chart like this. Again, I'd rather this, well, technically you did close above the 200-day. It's right there at that 200-day, which is a little bit sus. You'd like to see some more data, get back on that. Otherwise, you get below this, it could be pretty much a break hook and go to the downside. Let me just invert this so you guys can kind of see a picture of what that would look like. So, flipped. This is inverted, so this chart is flipped here. But this is kind of what we were looking for on a few of those stocks we discussed earlier, like SPY. Looking to get that break hook and go. So on Kraft Heinz here, just based off the chart, I'd like to see that get well above that 200-day. You are building some positive Momo, and you did have some good volume. I do see dividends here, so let's see if it had maybe some news on. There it is. Not too familiar with their earnings. I'm not sure if these actually happened. Oh, actually, this is expected on the 5th, which is tomorrow. So I generally don't like to play with earnings. Can really be a flip of a coin there on which way that's going to go. But look to whether that dividend news is positive or not. Let's see here. I kind of really tell you on which way this might go here. Whether that 200-day continues to be resistance, or you close a little bit higher. Besides that, not much here. Again, just keep an eye on this potentially happening, something like that. But yeah, that's Kraft Heinz. Thanks for throwing that out there. And let's see, around SoFi, student loans about to start rolling in. That is true. I believe that with that debt deal, Biden can no longer extend that pause. So yeah, student loans will start rolling around here. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see a bunch of ads rolling in for student loans if you got them. But yeah, let's take a look at SoFi. All right. I want to say Champion Vibe had a alert on this. Let me pull that up real quick. I want to see what. I know he mentioned it relatively soon. Let me pull this up real quick, guys. Or if he did, it was a trade. I'm not too sure, to be quite honest, but let's just take it for what it is here. Let's just chart it. So, all right. pretty much main levels to worry about right now. So it really kind of looks Y coffee in. Your SC here, probably your ST here, or your spring. That's probably be your spring on the Wyckoff accumulation here, and then a test of that spring range, and you're bounced really nice off that 459. Let's see how much that is here. You're up about 56% on in the past like month. I want to say CV did have a trade on this, but I believe most of those targets were hit. So this was obviously the most optimal time to get in, but like you mentioned, um, with the student loan situation, coming to an end soon, this could be a catalyst for SoFi. I know they had some news recently about I honestly didn't read much into it, so I'm not too familiar with SoFi, but I want to say they did have some info on like their target audience or whatever for the student loan period, pretty much coming to an end here with those payments starting soon. So something to keep an eye on for sure. Just because it's up 56% doesn't mean that it can't continue climbing. But you do have some resistance at the $7 level. Above that, 830. So something to keep an eye on. This looks interesting, and yeah, a lot of potential catalyst with the debt ceiling news. So definitely something to keep an eye on as well for SoFi here. Okay, let's see here. Alrighty, Google. Let's take a look at Google. All right. Interesting. You actually had negative Momo on Friday, closed green, but that Momo is starting up there. Let's get this a chart here. Right off the bat, you are testing some resistance now. Let's see. So two main levels to focus on right now. Obviously this year you've been kind of ripping almost like that Apple, almost looking like that Apple chart where, some of tech is just kind of in this upsloping formation. Wouldn't really consider this a wedge too cleanly here. Few touches. Okay, this is okay. You got enough touches here. All right, you're good. But as I mentioned with a few other tech stocks we kind of discussed, you're in this formation here and really testing this 124 zone, which has been support in the past a few times. Didn't really get to test it on the August of 2022. So this range really hasn't been tested as far as resistance until the past about a week and a half ago or so. So this area here, again, like we've said many times before, make or break area for Google, make or break area for most stocks right now. But negative Momo and this little zone here. But yeah, nothing too crazy on Google. Again, for most of these, sorry to seem redundant here, but we just need more data right now with that huge um, catalyst on Friday. That news, it's hard to really get a clear picture of what traders are thinking right now. So again, my philosophy at this time, my approach is just get some more data. This beginning of next week should say a lot for what type of situation we might be expecting. But yeah, just need some more data. That's all. All right, and yeah, again, if you guys want to throw any more stuff there in the chat, and we've been going for about 30 minutes or so. Not NBA game in a bit, so not expecting this to go too long here, but more than happy to get a couple more charts going. What's up, Anna? Okay, SD, got you. Sandridge Energy, is that right? Okay. Alrighty. Wow, this looks like a mega cup and handle here. Rounding bottom. Let me get my pen out. Where is that? I can use curve. Here you are. So right off the bat here, you see this rounding bottom, which usually is a positive side, a positive aspect that, okay, let me get this line. All right, so you can kind of see that formation is very clear. Take a look at the MACD here. Some waning. Looks like they may have had some news recently. What is this? Dividends. Looks like they had earnings just this past month. But yeah, let's dig a little bit deeper here. Just kind of take a quick glance at this. All right. So areas to focus on right now, you're within this range here. You're testing this upper, trend line, which could be interesting. But I do like the formation of this stock. Usually, rounding bottoms are seen as a positive, basically saying that, traders, bid it back up. So I'm not too familiar with this company, to be quite honest. Obviously, it's an energy company. I know in certain areas right now, energy is still quite expensive. So, hard to really say what might be happening here. But yeah, keep an eye on this. You're above the 200-day, which is nice. You actually tested it on, what is that? Okay. Oh, actually, I'm tripping here. Let me take a look closer look. This is not the newest candle. This is the newest candle. Friday. Ignore that. You are not above the 200-day. My apologies, looking at the wrong candle here. But you are above 1407. This could be considered its own little range here. Let's draw a little box. Okay. So something like this. You'd like to see it reclaim this zone, although that 1407 is pretty much that lower support as of now. Again, you'd like to reclaim this zone before, at least I like to see this zone reclaimed before making any, long-term decisions on this. Over here, Anna's laughing at me, of course, like usual. But yeah, that's SD off the top here. That's what I'm seeing for Sandridge. All right. Alrighty, guys. Yeah, you guys got anything else for me real quick? Just reading the chat. What's up, Max? Silent Dawn, the guy, Corey, Infinite Paradox, Mr. Robinson, Poop Around It, Akanate, if I'm saying that right, Nerve, Hungry Henry. Oh, just saw your message there. Inverse head and shoulders, maybe. Not sure. Sorry, I just read that right now. Not sure what you were talking about, what stock you were talking about there with that inverse head and shoulder, but sorry about that, man. And sorry for the no music. I know it might be a little bit boring, but again, thanks for being patient with me, guys. Again, my first stream here, so appreciate you guys coming out and paying a visit. But yeah, before I go here, any last request? More than happy to take a look at a few couple charts. Hungry Henry on SoFi. Sorry, dude. Let me take a look at SoFi again. Where's head and shoulders? Let's take a look. Let's flip this around. I usually like to flip my charts around. Helps me get a bit better picture. Sometimes you might be a little bit more long bias or short bias depending on your approach, your strategy. So inverting the chart is something that I learned from Mitch Ray. Um, Definitely helps you try to get rid of that bias and just look at the chart for what it is. Um, but yeah, let's take a look here. Head and shoulders. I can I see what you're saying. I wouldn't really necessarily call it that just yet, but I can kind of see what you're talking about there. Um, but SoFi looks interesting for sure. So it's something to keep an eye out for sure if you're looking at some potential longs. Again, with that catalyst could be a big player for SoFi, especially after an insane markdown in price. Back basically, as I mentioned, looking at my coffee in here, um, you know, uh, fall below the support, spring above it, test it, and then another test, and you're taking off now. You're about 50% off, whatever. Like I said, um, but yeah, sorry about that, Henry, but cool. I like to flip. Oh man, awesome. All right, guys. Yeah. Oh gosh, Anna. All right, yeah. So if you guys don't have anything else for me, then I can call it there. This week, I have a few family graduations to attend to, so the middle of the week might be a bit busy. But keep an eye out in the Discord. I'll let you guys know what day I plan on getting a stream in. For sure, Um, one more this week for sure, 100%. Just don't know which day that's going to be just yet. So I'll keep you guys updated in the chat. And yeah, shout out CV. Hope you're having a good time, man. Appreciate the all the support you give. Shout out FTM. All you guys for coming out. Really appreciate you guys taking a visit. Yeah, that's all for me today, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to, shoot you guys a DM or whatever in the Discord. At Papastrada is my name. So, um, yeah, any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to hit me up. Um, I'll be streaming for about the next 3 or 4 weeks or so while Champ is gone. So, looking forward to getting to know you guys a bit better. And yeah, that's all, guys. Appreciate it.